Welcome back, everybody. It's Passage to Profit with Richard and Elizabeth Gearhart, and our special guests this evening, Colleen Wilson and Melissa Curtis, who run Founders of Pets on Cue, which is an agency that places animals for TV commercials and movies. And they're also the reality stars of the Netflix show Pet Stars. So really fun to have you with us. Hello, hello, hello.
Hello.
So what's it like to run a pet agency?
Well, technically we don't run an agency. It's more of a booking. We do everything through a booking platform that is patent pending. And yeah, we work with set animals, so trained animals to work on set. And we do a whole process to make sure animal safety is our top priority, that the animals are comfortable on set. Because if anyone has pets, you can have 2 cats and one likes people, one hates people. Like, which one do you think we're going to pick to put on set? Like, it's pretty easy. It's a very small percentage of animals that can do it. And then we also work with influencer pets, so the famous ones online. And we have probably close to 1 billion views between all of the animals every week that we represent. So we have a lot of influencers, and some of them can have millions of followers. Some of them can have a few thousand followers. So we kind of have a very large roster, and we partner them with brands and do that as well. So we kind of have the 2 separate sides of what we do, and you get to
manage
see that on the show.
People say agency a lot, but it's really more of a management company and a booking platform, and we license things. We do all kinds of media, all kinds of stuff. We help them monetize, essentially.
Right. So I have to ask you guys, I mean, obviously there's a need for this, and your show is amazing, and your compassion and love for every kind of animal there is on the planet really comes through. But how did you get into this? Like, how did you make this a business? Because obviously you love what you're doing, and that's what everybody's dream. Take what I love and make a business.
It's all Colleen. I mean, Colleen started it in New York, and she can speak to that. It was kind of her side business, and then she built it up to a certain position. And then I actually retired from my career in finance to go work for her. And we've been together for 5 years now. So
yeah, I just did it as a side job, and I saw that there was a niche in the industry and was like, oh, this will be fun just for a weekend. And then it kind of just took over. But yeah, no, it's always been my passion, business and the animals. And I thought that I could do more good helping a variety of people and set up systems in place, just a variety of people, variety of animals, help animals more by that. And through that, we've been able to help a lot of rescues, a lot of sanctuaries, as you see on the show. We've been able to do and monetize for a lot of people and ways that they never could have imagined, which is always really fun. And I get to work with my best friend too every day. And that was probably the best part about filming the show, was working with Mel. Yeah.
So we have a lot of fun together. We laugh all the time, and we're a good team. So it's great.
Yeah. How did you get a Netflix series?
A lot of hard work. I mean, well, what we do is weird. Like, I mean, what can I say? Like, if you watch the show, you'll see, like, we work with animals in a place that you really don't see us. Like, no one knows the stuff that we do because we sign NDAs all the time when we work with big celebrities and on big TV shows. And we have a huge show coming up, and we can't say anything about it because we're behind the camera all the time with the animals and doing the casting of the animals and whatnot. And you don't know about what we do. And it was kind of a sneak peek and behind the scenes of that. And I think people are fascinated by it because they don't even realize it's an industry. The fact that, some famous cats are making 6 figures, or, and that's not just one, like we have many of them that do, dogs, and that there are, different ways for sanctuaries to make money now. And there are different ways to do it. It's just kind of an interesting, very weird concept, similar to patents. Like, it has to have a TV show, you have to have something unique and that you're passionate about, and end up being a lot about Mel and I and our chemistry and the show and just working with animals. So I think that Netflix kind of just took a shot on us, and it was just the coolest experience ever.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun. I mean, we pitched the show, and we've been working on it for a while. It took us a while to get where we are, but it was a super fun journey. And you have to be willing to work hard if you want to get a TV show and go out and pitch and stuff. And that's basically what we did. And luckily doors opened for us, and here we are. So we're excited to, have the opportunity to share what we do with the world, and then also make them laugh. I mean, we've had a lot of fun. We laugh all the time. So it's great.
Also, we live in LA. Like, that makes it easier to go to the casting stuff, and people find out about it more.
I have one comment, and then I want to hand it to Richard. And my one comment is, until I watched your show, I did not know that they had Reiki and crystal therapy for dogs.
Right, what was
Of course they do. It's taken
intuitive
over.
therapy or something, or intuition therapy.
That was amazing. So do you have a question?
I just, it's kind of interesting. I'd like to know how you feel when, you know, lots of people really love their pets and they think their pets are great. And I'm sure a lot of people think their pets would be really great on TV. And
Yes.
you have to deal with a lot of disappointments because
Yeah.
people, I mean, it's almost worse than being a person, right? It's your pet that's not making the grade, right? And
Yeah.
how do you,
There's
on the
a show
you-
parent quality to these animal owners for
Right.
sure. And I mean, Colleen and I can't go to dinner and chat about work without people literally running over going, here's a picture of my cat. Here's a picture of my dog. Oh my gosh, what do you do to make my pet famous? And we're like, you know, we don't make animals famous. We just work with it. You know, it's interesting. People love their pets a little too
Yeah.
much sometimes.
Melissa's
know.
a lot nicer than I am too.
Yes.
So I'm just like, no.
And I'm like, well, maybe let's
Well-
talk, you know.
Maybe if you worked on this, this, and this, and then I'm more in tune with the animal side of it, and Mel's more in tune with people and being nicer to them. So it's more so like I can tell when the animals don't want to be there, and I'm not going to hire an animal that isn't going to have fun on set. That doesn't, because I mean, you know, people are like that too, and same with kids. But the kids can talk back to their parents and say, "I don't want to be here." The pets do non-verbally, and that's where my role comes in. And Mel's like translating my my feelings to the owners in a nicer way. But yeah, that's we deal with that a lot. Like I would say out of like probably 25 animals that can apply, maybe 2 or 3 are good enough to do set work.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Mm.
And those are the ones that have already made it to that point. It's very hard. It's very hard to get into that industry with animals. You have to be very well trained and socialized, and
Yeah, I mean, for us, it's not that different with inventors, because they'll come in and they'll have a project that they are just really, their identity, their emotions, everything is really connected to this. And then we'll do a search, and 1 out of 3 times, at least, we'll find something that has already been patented or would block them from getting a patent or a trademark application. And sometimes it's just devastating. I mean, and you know, you want to encourage them to keep inventing, because maybe the next one will be original, but it's something that is very personal to them. And you know, we try to be, we're not dealing with the volume of people that you probably are. So we do try to be sensitive, because we want them to come back and think of us for their next idea.
Yes, well, so we have 3 cats, none of which would do well. Kenya has a dog, so Kenya, I know you gotta have something to
I don't
say
know.
here.
I don't think my dog would do well either. He's an 80-pound pit bull, and he's super sweet, but I don't know how he would do on TV. Question for you though, what are some of the qualifications that you look for these, do you call them pet influencers? Is that what they are?
yeah, the pet influencers. Yeah. So for the roster of pet influencers, it is we're looking at their quality follower count and their follower count online. So we have within our platform, and we have an algorithm that pulls out the data that they have and how they perform. Because a lot of people online, influencers and whatnot, they buy followers, they buy bots, they buy
likes, they buy everything.
Yeah.
So you never know what you're really seeing.
And part of our job working with brands and these influencers is making sure it's very transparent. So if you have 2 influencers with 1 million followers, and one of them really shows that they only have 10,000 quality followers, the other one's showing, 600,000, and they're both at the same price point, who do you think the brand's going to hire? So that's really where we have the tech side of it, which you don't see it all on the show, to be able to qualify these followers and look at, because the pet space is very different from the human space. The ROI for brands that are wanting to hire them on the marketing field is very different. So back to your question on what we look for is we look for a quality follower count of at least 1,000 or more to be considered an influencer, a pet influencer. But it's also hard for even accounts that size to be able to influence someone else to purchase a product. And that really is what an influencer is someone that can influence another human to
buy something,
to purchase something.
So what is the element of that? How does that evolve or manifest itself?
With so if we have a pet treat that is looking to dive into the market. I just have one sitting right here that they just sent it to me, so I was just thinking of that one. And they're looking to get into the market, and they are looking to partner with people that already have a captive audience. That audience loves their dog or cat, and they're looking to recommend this product, but they're getting paid by the brand to recommend this product. So it's almost like a commercial. So
I mean, it is a commercial essentially.
Yeah. So especially when like COVID happened and all commercial and all production was shut down, all that money from all the big brands went online and onto Instagram. So it was actually our busiest year right after we finished filming, was right when COVID started. And they're looking for a new place to have a commercial and an advertisement that's really going directly to pet lovers. So directly to, if you have a golden retriever, you're more likely to follow other golden accounts, and that could be a brand's primary target demographic. And that's kind of how we do. So if you look at it, like, so a Super Bowl commercial is going to cost a lot more than like a morning TV show. And that's kind of how we price it out too, but online. That's where the quality followers comes in, and the amount of views and all that stuff. Sorry if I talked too fast.
I mean, I would say we have a couple hundred people applying to be on the roster every other day. And we have a team that goes through and vets them out. I mean, obviously not everybody that applies can be accepted. They do have to have that minimum count. And then also, you know, we'll look at the account and see, I mean, honestly, the gut read on it, you know, if you have golden retrievers, for instance, we have a lot of golden retriever accounts. So we might look at the new golden retriever accounts coming in with a little bit of a harsher eye. Whereas if you're coming in with a chicken and you've got 30,000 followers, that's really unique and interesting. And we do have chickens on our roster. You know what I mean? So the animal itself also comes into play when making those decisions. Now, when we have set animals we work with, that's very different criteria. And those are vetted differently and just have to, you know, adhere to a different set, because they're not famous, they're trained and things of that nature. And Colleen temperament tests everybody and makes sure that, you know, they're good.
Have you ever thought about expanding your business to include intellectual property on your roster?
We do have some IP, but yeah.
Maybe it doesn't fit quite there, but we have the shark protection suit. So we can start with that.
No, but I did want to make a comment. So when we were watching your show, what I found fascinating, I mean, anybody who's not seen your show, Pet Stars on Netflix, you have to watch it, because it's not just a cute chicken doing tricks. It's behind the scenes, like seriously behind the scenes, how they make their commercials. But what was so cool,
there are good chickens and bad chickens.
is you use CGI combined with the animals and with some people. I mean, the creativity here is beyond. It's so far out of the box. It's amazing. And then you come up with this absolutely hilarious commercial, the birthday party for the grumpy cat. I'm not going to give away the ending because that was so funny. I thought I was going to die.
Well, it's so funny. You watched it being put together, but then after you played the commercial, you got it. And so it was worth the wait. Right.
And so
people have no idea what goes into it. And when you're working with animals too, there's all these other layers. I mean, production in and of itself is huge and involved, but that just adds completely different levels.
Yeah, and our role really is to make sure that the animals that are there are safe and that they're trained and they're comfortable being there, and to make sure that everything goes smoothly. Like you'll see, I mean, you get to see the behind the scenes of, you know, this cat looks like it's being thrown in the air, and it's not. Like I mean, you don't see that on the show. That little bit got cut, but it's green screen. They're just holding the cat and putting it up and down and on a green screen, and then they do hands throwing it, and it looks like the cat's being thrown. But it's really interesting, so people can actually see like, oh, there really is a lot of safety in this, and there are people out there that are trying to make it safe for animals. We loved it. It was really fun.
Well, if you have a star quality animal, you don't want it to get hurt or traumatized or anything like that, and they can have delicate temperaments sometimes.
So I got to ask you, so who scripted that grumpy birthday cat commercial?
So you hire, when any commercial, we're not the ones that come in and do the creative for that. We're the ones that bring the animals that the creative is looking for the casting. So it's usually in production, it's a producer or it's
the director,
the brand
coming in.
Yeah, there's one of those, like the brand, the producer, the director, the creator. There's someone in that's
somebody has a vision, and then
and then they usually will communicate with us saying, well, what can these animals do?
Exactly.
Like, what can we do? And then we'll give them the list of tasks.
And sometimes Colleen will be like, no, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. You know, because because they're thinking, in terms of production and, you know, special effects. But then there's times when Colleen is like, nope, we're not doing that. That's too stressful. We're not, you know, change this animal. This will be a cat, not a hedgehog or whatever, you know, and that's what she's really good at.
So I have one question for both of you, and that is, what is your favorite pet trick that you've ever seen in your careers? And what is the weirdest pet trick you've ever seen in your careers?
Good question. On the show, we show Koa the chicken, and just because apparently I'm on chickens today, to see this chicken do things like, you know, whisper a secret in your ear or untie your shoes. I'd never seen a chicken that was so involved and liked its humans so much and could do that. I really didn't know chickens were that smart. So I would say that really blew my mind, watching the chicken do stuff. Because she can do like 50 things, and I can't get my dog to come to me. Like, oh, you know, I think
I'm the chicken whisperer. You know?
Exactly.
So Kenya, do you have a question? Oh,
Richard kind of asked it a little bit. I was just going to say, what was your like either weirdest moment on set or anything strange story you can share about anything that's happened on set?
Oh, on set. So it was my birthday a couple of years, it was like a while ago. And we finished filming. It was at the Ugly Dog contest, and we finished filming and go back to the hotel, and we were all going to get, you know, a cake and food, just the whole crew. We had like 30 people there. And the hotel set on fire.
The room beneath mine.
The room beneath Melissa, and she was showering. Yeah.
Started on fire.
Yeah. And then it was just someone that had plugged in a, I think, Chinese appliance or something that was like battery that was, way too much. And it basically lit the hotel on fire, and we all had to evacuate. But our evacuation's a little bit different because we had a 70-pound tortoise. We had 2 pit bulls, or pit bull mixes. We had a goldfish. We had like, it was like, oh my God.
Go down the fire escape. Yeah.
And then we had like $1 million worth of equipment from Netflix in the room next to where the fire happened. So the whole crew was like kicking down doors and helping people out. That was like the craziest experience.
That was the craziest day.
Yeah, but everyone was safe, and it was fine. But that was
fun.
Wow.
I can tell it left emotional scars though. So
it was just crazy.
Yeah.
So anyway, no, those are all great experiences. And how have you gone from taking the transition from, you know, being sort of behind the scenes now to being in front of the camera? Was that easy? Did you have to learn?
It was easy. I thought it was easy. I think it was a little bit harder for Colleen.
Yeah, I'm awkward. Yeah,
I'm not awkward.
People don't recognize me at all. It's because I'm super pregnant now. But they recognize my dog. So if I'm walking down the street with him, they're like, oh, that's the dog from the show, and they just don't put 2 and 2 together because I'm huge right now.
The animals on the show definitely got, you know, the fame out of it. I don't know if you saw the episode Leaping Lizards, but my lizard is on the show, and I adopt her on the show. And everybody in the neighborhood knows my lizard. Kids come over. When my daughter was distance learning, people were like, show us Jenny. And, you know, they didn't care about me or Colleen. They wanted to see the lizard, you know. So, which is fine, you know, it's great. So, you know, my lizard has double the followers I do on Instagram. It's fine. It's normal to have a lizard.
It's like we've done over 100 shows now, and we work to get the content out and organize it. And we're doing pretty well, but you know, one water skiing squirrel just blows it out of the water, right? You know, and
true.
There's something there about pets. People love pets and animals so much.
They do. They really do.
And more people watch animals online than anything else. So it's just kind of it's a really great business to be in that people don't expect to be a real business. But yeah, it's not.
Even when we were filming, our crew was like, okay, so what do you guys really do? When we first started, do you remember that, Colleen? And we were like, this is what we do. And they're like, no, what do you really do? And we're like, this is what we do. Like,
do you
we
make
do
any
this.
money?
This is the job. And they couldn't believe it. I remember our sound guy just could not believe it. It was so funny.
Well, it's been great talking with you. We hope you'll stick around for the rest of the show, but right now we have to take a commercial break. So you're listening or watching Passage to Profit on WOR 710, the Voice of New York, and we'll be back right after this.